Okay, so this is going to be your final review. The final review that I gave you that you're actually allowed to work on, actually allowed to use on your final. We're going to go over the problems. So we're just going to go ahead and start it. So 1, in the conditional statement, if an angle is acute, then it has a measure less than 90 degrees. The conclusion is, so first thing to know about these is that your conclusion is always this last part here, the last part after the then. It does not include the then. So, when you're working these problems, make sure that it does not include the then. So, just, it has a measure of 90 degrees. It has a measure less than 90 degrees is your answer. So, A is your answer for number 1. For B here in the conditional statement, if you give a mouse a cookie, then he will want some milk to go with it. My hypothesis is, so it's kind of the same thing as the conclusion. We're going to look at the beginning here. If you give a mouse a cookie, and we're not going to include if. So just, you give a mouse a cookie is going to be the answer. So 2 is going to be C. Okay, moving on to number 3. Now you can stop this video anytime if you like, if I'm going too fast. But I just going through these questions. So, which of the following could not be the hypothesis of a conditional statement? So when we're looking at the question number 2, we don't include if in the hypothesis. So B is the only one that starts with the if, so we know automatically that one cannot be the hypothesis. So B is going to be your answer here. Number 4, which of the following could be the conclusion of a conditional statement? Same thing as number 1. The conclusion cannot contain then at the beginning. So A, B, and D, both contain A, B, and C. Both contain then. So D is the only one that doesn't. So D is going to be your answer. Okay, number 5. Which of the following is the negation of the statement? So negation right here is opposite. You're going to add not. So Shipley's donuts are the best tasting. Now if Shipley's donuts are not the best tasting. So A is answer number 5. You shouldn't change anything in these sentences except adding or taking away not. Okay, number 6. Which of the following is the converse of the given conditional? So if you remember converse is you have 2 different sections of your conditional statement. Converse is where you switch them. So this part is going to go on the back, and that front, and this back part is going in the front. So if you have to pay for an object in a store, then you must have broken the object. The wording might be a little bit different, but the meaning is still the same. So watch out for those a little bit. So it has to say something about not paying for the object at the beginning. It has to say something about paying for an object at the beginning and then breaking it at the end. Okay, number 7. Which of the following is the inverse of the conditional statement? So inverse, we're going to inverse the same thing as negation. You're adding not. Going to add not. Or if it already has not, you're going to take it away. So, if you spill your drink will be if you do not spill your drink, which the only one starts off with this one, then the carpet will not get stained. So your answer is automatically going to be D. Okay, number 8. Which of the following is the contrapositive of the given conditional? Now, contrapositive, you're going to do both of these. You're going to add not, and you're going to switch. So, you're going to start with this one. If you don't train hard. If you don't train hard, then you don't want to run a marathon. A marathon. So is there any sentence that kind of looks like that one? If you are not training hard, then you must not want to run a marathon. If you are training hard, if you don't want to run a marathon. Okay, so A is pretty much the closest one to that. The wording might be a little off, but it's okay. So 8 is going to be A. Okay, number 9, it says find the length of a segment that has endpoints 2, -3, and 12, 7. So in this one here, it says length. When it says length, that's indication that you're going to use the distance formula. And I'm going to give you the distance formula on the test so you don't have to worry about remembering it. So in this one, we have to label our x's and our y's. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And then the distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, now all I have to do now is plug in your numbers. So now I have the square root of x2, which is 12 minus 2 squared plus 7 minus -3 squared. Okay, so if you look here, I had 2 negatives here. Whenever I have 2 negatives, that makes a positive. Well, when I have 2 negatives here, that makes a positive. So that's going to be 7 plus 3. So now I have the square root of, a lot of y'all forget to bring down your square root every time you start a new step. I know a lot of y'all missed that when you took the test. So just remember, first thing you do to bring down your radical every time. So 12 minus 2 is 10, so that's 10 squared, plus 7 plus 3 is 10, that's 10 squared. 10 squared is 100, so now we have 100 plus 100, which equals the square root of 200. You can leave your answer like this, that's fine, but if you need to reduce it, you can always say the square root 200, you can multiply 2 times 100, and that's the same thing as saying the square root of 2 times the square root of 10. Sorry, square root of 2 times the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is 10, so that's saying 10 square roots of 2. And either one of these answers is fine. I'd rather not have you put it in a decimal. Find the distance between 8 and -11 on a number line. So we have a little formula here. This one you actually have to memorize. It's the absolute value of a minus b. Now your a and your b can be any one of these numbers. It doesn't matter which one. And absolute value, it makes anything inside the two lines, it makes it positive. So if it's negative, it's going to be a positive. If it's already positive, then it's going to stay the same. So let's make 11a and 8b. So that's -11 minus 8. -11 minus 8 equals the absolute value of -19. Since it's negative, that's just going to be 19, since it's in the absolute value. Okay. Number 11, find the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment with endpoints 6, 6 and -2, 2. So this one we're going to start with labeling our points x1, y1 and x2, y2. The midpoint on this one, since it's coordinates, we're going to have to find the midpoint of our x's and then find the midpoint of our y's. This equation will also be given to you. So x midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2. And then your y midpoint is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And all we have to do now is plug in our numbers. So for xm, we have 6 plus -2 divided by 2 equals 4 over 2, which equals 2. And then our ym is going to be 6 plus 2 divided by 2, which equals 8 over 2, which equals 4. So our coordinates are going to be 2, 4 for our midpoint. Okay, number 12. B is between AC. If AB is 2x plus 1, BC equals x, and AC equals 22, find AB. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to draw a picture. So B is between AC, I have AC right here, and B is in between them. AB is 2x plus 1, and BC is x. BC equals x, and AC equals 22. So if I look at this entire distance right here, AB and BC, it's equal to 22. So that means that, this right here, if I add these together, it's also going to equal 22. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add those two together. 2x plus 1 plus x. It's going to equal 22. Since I have these two x's on the same side of my equal sign, I just get to combine them. So 2x plus x is 3x. Plus 1 equals 22. This 1 I have on this side, I can subtract it from both sides. Now I have 3x equals 21. Divide off my 3, and x equals 7. And this question asks you to find AB. So AB, from the problem, we know it equals 2x plus 1. And I know what x is, so I can just plug it in. So 2 times 7 plus 1 is 14 plus 1, which equals 15. Equals 15. Okay, I have one last problem I think to do on this section. This one is kind of like number 12, a little bit different. So we're going to draw a picture. R is the midpoint of TS. So midpoint, I have TS. R is the midpoint means that R splits TS into two equal pieces. So TR is going to be equal to RS. Exact same length. It says that TR is 5x minus 12, and RS is 3x plus 8. Find TS. So find this entire length. So same thing as 12. If I'm adding these two lengths together, it's going to give me the length of TS. So that's what I am going to do. Add those two lengths it's going to give me TS. But one thing that I do know, since R is the midpoint, that means that TR and RS are equal, which means that these two values, which represent TR and RS, are also going to be equal. So we're setting those two equal to each other. So 5x minus 12 equals 3x plus 8. And I can subtract 3 from both sides. Which leaves me with 2x minus 12 plus 8, equals, and go back, 2x minus 12 equals 8. Then I can add 12 to both sides. 2x equals 20, divide off our 2, and x equals 10. Now this problem says that we're trying to find what TS equals. Well, we're not given a value for TS in the problem, but we're giving one for RS, and we know RS is going to be half of TS. So RS equals 3x plus 8. I know what 10 is, so I can just plug it in. So 3 times 10 plus 8 is 38. So I know that RS here is going to be 38. And since R is the midpoint, this over here is also going to be 38. So TS is going to equal 38 plus 38. So TS equals 76 altogether. Okay, that is the first half of the review. And I will have the second half of the review up a little bit later.